Well, it's official. The USC Trojans have the #1 recruiting class in 2026. The first time in 18 years that an SEC program does not have the #1 class. An absolute masterclass by Chad Bowden, Lincoln Riley, and the entire USC staff. Let's get into it. What's up, Trojan family? Welcome to the USC LAFB show. Finally made it here. National Signing Day, December 3rd. I'm your host, Ryan Dyward. Thank you for making USC LAFB a part of your day. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Certainly helps us out, and we do appreciate it. Become a member for all great membership perks. Would be awesome if you did. What better day to do it than on signing day? Sign the dotted line for USC LAFB. But monster day for USC, and there was no real concerns leading up to it, but USC has been able to sign their entire class. As of right now recording, I've been kind of waiting for the official word. Mark Bowman's announcement has not been made yet, but everything we've heard is that he has signed already. Just for whatever reason, the USC announcement hasn't come. But all other 34 commitments have been officially announced, including the official flip of Kayden Dixon-Wyatt from Ohio State. So as of right now, pending the official announcement of Mark Bowman, but like I said, we've been hearing that it's done. It's just whatever reason hasn't been put out into the universe yet. But all 35, this class is massive. It is elite. 22 blue chip prospects in this class. A lot of underrated 3-star prospects in this class. And this is going to be the groundwork for this program moving into the future. We've talked about it a bunch, about how the past few years have been kind of laying the framework. Last year was like the true foundational year just because of the shift in ideology and philosophy. Chad Bowden hired and his staff brought on in late January, so not even a calendar year. And they hit the ground running to build this class with absolute intent. And now they have closed it when no one said they could. Right? All year long, that was the talk. Well, they're going to lose half the class. Guys are going to flip. To my knowledge, I don't think they actually had a single true flip. There was a couple of changes, but it was more of, hey, because of the no-visit policy, obviously the most recent being Jaquan Morris, now committed at Illinois. It was more so USC saying, hey, sorry, we have this policy, we're going a different direction. And so that is the only case of players not sticking that officially committed. There were no official flips like we saw in years past. Remember, linebacker Xavier Griffin was actually the first player to exit this class, and it was announced as a flip, but in reality it was more, I think he really wanted to be with USC. It wasn't really that, but he wanted to still take visits and kind of see what else was out there. And Bowden staff said, I know you committed before I was here, but this is our new policy. So if you do want to take visits, then you're going to have to decommit. And hey, I'm sure they said, we'll take you back if you want later. But then he ultimately, after a few weeks, ended up committing to Alabama. So no real flips, just an absolute fantastic cycle overall with 35 commitments. I'm going to go through the class briefly for you guys. I know I've talked about it a ton all year long, so many of you probably don't want to hear it, but I'll go through briefly. Plus some unsigned players out there, big names linked to USC. We'll get into that briefly. One being Chris Henry Jr., the prized receiver in the class. One being quarterback Ryder Lyons, one of the top quarterbacks in the class. So we'll talk about that really quick. And then, like I said, we'll kind of get into the full 35 commitment list. And then tonight, 7 p.m., call-in show, Tim Prangley, the madman, talking all things recruiting, taking your phone calls, getting your reactions. I am going to jump on there with them at some point as well. So we'll break down more and kind of just give more reaction, and it'll be probably more of a fun, emotional conversation, and especially taking your calls and whatnot, and not necessarily all just the nitty-gritty of this class. So let's start, though, with the big news that everyone's going to talk about, and that is Chris Henry Jr., the number 1 rated receiver in the class, Kayden Dixon-Wyatt's teammate, and Mark Bowman's teammate, and Tom Tapui's teammate, and Sean Scott's teammate at Mater Dei, who has been locked in with Ohio State for 2 years. Oregon has been pushing hard for him. USC has kept the communication open as of late. Heading into this morning, though, it definitely felt like he was still going to stay committed or going to sign officially with Ohio State. Well, then this morning comes. Offensive coordinator Brian Hartline pulls a Matt Entz and accepts the head coaching job at the University of South Florida. Now, Henry and his side said that they were blindsided. They did not hear anything from Hartline. They found out on Twitter, like all of us. Who knows how true that is or what. So during Mater Dei's kind of commitment morning, he announced that he was still committed to Ohio State, but never officially signed or submitted his paperwork. So when he first announced, that even I put out there, okay, he's committed, he's at Ohio State, that's done, yada, 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 everyone did. And then kind of an hour later, everyone's like, well, hold up, he actually didn't submit the paperwork. So he remains committed to Ohio State, but not officially signed with Ohio State. So then things got interesting. And, USC now has 6 in the class. Do they have room for another? Can they afford another? With obviously a 35-person class, it's heavy NIL resources. Can they take on another one? And that's kind of where we're at right now. And he has said, he spoke, I think, with Tom Loy of 247. I believe he spoke with others at On3 or Rivals as well, that he's probably going to take a day or so. I think, this signing period usually goes until Friday, I believe, the 5th. And just kind of, have a conversation with Ohio State. If he truly was blindsided, obviously, I think there was a lot of reasons why Ohio State, good on an NIL package. Obviously, he's from the state of Ohio. His dad, his late father, played for the Cincinnati Bengals. And so there's a lot of ties there. But I think one of the biggest things was Brian Hartline, who is no doubt the best wide receiver coach. And he was the OC this year in college football. So with him gone, that certainly changes things. So I think he needs to hear from Ryan Day and Ohio State, like what the plan is, what the development plan is for him, who's going to be the new OC and wide receiver coach, like who's going to be the guy coaching me. So he's going to take, or he said he's going to take a day or two, or maybe even a week. Who knows how long he can officially take. Really, he can take till February. That's the old National Signing Day. Now that's the late signing period. So he could take till then if he really wanted to. Oregon obviously is pushing hard for this now with USC flipping Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, which was one of their targets. They are going all in, and we know the money bags that they will probably throw. And the question is, does USC want to play that game, especially with a 6-person class already? How much monetary finances are they willing to go to throw this? The question with Oregon, because I think they could probably become the highest bidders. I don't think that's any crazy statement to say. The question with them now is they also just lost their offensive coordinator. Remember, Will Stein now is the head coach of Kentucky. And so I'm not taking anything away from Dan Lanning and the program he's built and the culture, but they're going to have questions too of who's now running the offense there. Is it going to be a first-time play caller? Obviously, it seems like they're probably going to promote from within, but that's a real question. If Chris Henry's having questions about Ohio State, what they're doing, Oregon's in the same boat. They just lost their OC. They lost their DC also. It doesn't really affect him. As a program, they're going to be fine. But in terms of his development and all that, like who's going to be coaching him? So Oregon can come with all the money they want. But if this is not purely a money grab, which some people are saying it is, I don't think it is. I mean, this is he's making a ton of money regardless. What's 1.5 million versus 1.7 million at this point? So it's going to come down to more like who's developing you. And Oregon and Ohio State are in the same boat. USC really is the one team that, hey, we're the same guys that have been recruiting you this whole time. Our staff is fully intact. Like, you know exactly what you're getting by coming here, plus a very competitive NIL offer, plus you're staying home. I know he's from Ohio, but, he's been in LA now for a while. Plus all your teammates. You got 4 teammates playing here, so it's going to feel real comfortable for you. Oh, and guess what? Plus, you might have an opportunity to start next year, which you probably would at Oregon as well. Ohio State probably as well, to be honest. I mean, he's that good. So we'll see. We'll see again if USC even wants to add that 36 and if what the NIL they can offer in this sense, because they just unloaded quite a bit for Kayden Dixon-Wyatt to add to that. But in terms of just development right now, 11:30 on Wednesday, USC is in the best position because both Oregon and Ohio State just lost both their offensive coordinators. Ohio State losing the wide receiver guru, best in the nation. So we'll see. We'll keep a close eye on this one. Oregon feels like there's been reporting they feel like they're in a really good spot to land him. They ultimately might. But if it's truly a development play and there's concern of him going to Ohio State and not knowing who's going to develop him, Oregon's in the same boat. SC's in the best position possible with Chad Savage, Dennis Simmons, and Lincoln Riley. Like, that's not changing. So we'll see. Rider Lions is the other one. Now, there was all this kind of speculation when Coach Sataki at BYU was getting linked to Penn State, and would he ultimately follow him to Penn State, or what would go on there? Nothing is imminent, but he has come out and said he plans to not sign today, to kind of take a beat, take a breath, see what happens. We all know the connection with him and USC. We don't need to go down that road. We've talked about it a ton. I think he wants to be at SC. USC would love to have him. Obviously, they changed course a little bit when they went and flipped Jonas Williams in this class. But we know Ryder's going on his mission. He'll be gone for a year. So even if he does sign somewhere, I mean, in a year, that could change anyway. So this is one that is a long path and a long, probably fluid road. And so one that doesn't need to, we don't need to talk about a ton. But the fact that he's not signing today shows that he is still kind of questioning what he wants to do, or is still having conversations about where he really wants to be. He was at USC a bunch, not always in the official capacity because his brother plays there, but he visited USC a lot this year to watch his brother play. And so he knows the staff, knows the culture, knows everything about USC. Again, we'll see just what USC's plans are at the quarterback position, because there's a lot that's going to, what's going to happen with Jaden Maiava this year? Is he coming back, or is he going to the NFL? If he comes back, is Husan Longstreet willing to sit again, or is he going to hit the portal? Then you got Jonas Williams as a true freshman. I mean, there's a lot that has to unpack even before you even really think about Rider Lions. But the fact that he's not signing today, that door is still open of a potential marriage with the USC Trojans. So there's the latest big names. I think also like Jet Washington, as of this recording, has not signed yet. That was a big safety recruit that I was really high on USC going after. Ultimately, I don't know if they'll even push for that. And again, I just think as of right now, he hasn't officially signed, but haven't heard anything that he's not going to, or any rumors on that. But just another name to kind of watch for. And as this day drags on, maybe I'll jump on it a little bit, throw out some other names to maybe look at. But I think at 35 right now, there are really only two names to really look at are Chris Henry and Rider Lions. I don't know if you're going to be pushing for anyone else at this point, because you're at 35, fully signed, good to go, ready to rock. So speaking of the 35, we'll quickly go down this recruit list. Let's start with the cornerback position. Elbert Hill, 4-star, 4th-ranked cornerback in the class, absolute beast. Can play inside, can play outside, really can play wherever they want him to be. So we'll see if he ends up being that kind of nickel guy, that outside guy. But he has, just the skill set to play wherever, and just will continue to develop. So an absolute home run get, and he seems just absolutely fired up to be a Trojan. Brandon Lockhart, what can we say about him? One of the longest tenured commits of this class, committed 2 years ago, stuck through it the whole time, was told by everyone to decommit, go somewhere else, wouldn't be the right fit for you. He stuck it out. He became not only the face of this class, but probably one of the biggest player recruiters for this class, getting other guys to join him and just keeping everyone fired up and in the know. So Lockhart had a great season. Obviously transferred to Sierra Canyon this past year, played well in that fantastic defense with some of the other teammates we'll be talking about here. But 6'1.5", 170, 4-star, great kid. Love that he's officially inked and going to be a Trojan. Peyton Dyer, super underrated corner out of Georgia, another 4-star. Again, a guy that there's questions because of him being East Coast. Would it stick? It stuck. He's fired up to be here. It's going to be a good one. Joshua Holland, St. John Bosco, 3-star cornerback. He's been committed for quite some time as well. Had a really good season at Bosco this year. Always great to get in there. Local commit from a powerhouse high school program. And great to see him finish all the way through after being committed since July of 2024. And the most recent commit outside of Kayden Dixon-Wyatt was Jaden Crowder, who flipped from Cal. He plays at Rancho Santa Margarita. He was hurt, unfortunately, so I didn't get to see him at the CIF Southern Section final game that I went to. But a great lockdown corner, a lot of upside, 3-star, but a kid that played fantastic in a really good defense that was Santa Margarita. So there are your 5 cornerbacks. Again, more defensive backs. I would not be shocked at all if one of these guys, or even 2, ends up being moved, potentially to safety. Not saying they will for sure, but we've seen guys get moved all around in this defensive backfield in this Danton Lynn, Doug Belk system. So listed as corners, we could see some move to safeties. So, because there's only one safety technically in this class in Madden Riordan, which we'll get to in a minute. But just, 6 DBs, what you look at it, right? And let's just speak on that. So the one safety technically in this class is Madden Riordan, 3-star, Sierra Canyon. Underrated. Absolutely underrated kid. Should be, he's a ball hawk. Should absolutely be a 4-star, I think, in my opinion. Maybe there's some bias there. But grew up a Trojan fan from the LA area, and now gets to live out his dream and officially sign as a USC Trojan. So, fantastic player. Fired up that he's going to be a Trojan. I think he'll be an integral part to this class for sure. Defensive line. Probably the position group, defensive line and offensive line, the ones that everyone wants to hear about the most. And, got some great ones. Jamian Winfield out of Texas, 4-star. He's the 4th-ranked interior defensive lineman in the class. Even that's underrated. Absolute beast out in Texas. He just blows up plays. Reminds me a little bit, I don't like throwing this name around and having people overreact, but the style of play is like Aaron Donald, how he can just blow up plays in the middle with his size, his speed, his pass rush skills. So, great one. Another one that when they landed, everyone's like, oh, it's not going to stick. Here we are. Signed. Tamahuni Tapui lives on campus, basically. Flipped from Oregon back in the spring and, just fired to be a Trojan from Mater Dei. And another underrated guy that I think is underranked. He's the 14th ranked defensive lineman, 6'2", like 330. So massive body that we want to see them continue to add for this Big Ten style of play. Braden Jones listed as a D lineman, might be more as an edge. He's definitely big enough to play that 3 tech. We'll see where they really want to line him up. But another early commit signed last October, and so. Stuck around through the whole thing, had a great senior season out at Mount Carmel in Illinois. His team actually beat Jonas Williams, quarterback I'll get to, team in the playoffs, and he had a fantastic year. So this is a kid I think that's underrated. I think he's listed as a 3-star, but plays much better than that. So another great one. Jake Johnson, 3-star out of Prosper, Texas. Another pretty big body, 6'3", 290. I think just kind of, workhorse guy that we'll see how he fits within the system, but a great depth piece in there. Malik Brooks, big dude, 6'3", 350 from right here in the Los Angeles area. So you get this big body that you can see how you develop. Sometimes these 3-star kids get overlooked, but if you've got the body type and you can develop and teach these kids the right technique, then that goes a long way. I think of like Elijah Vicona last year, kind of an overlooked 3-star guy, but a mountain of a human being at 6'8", like 360. He may start at tackle next year as a 3-star. Because if you have that elite, you can't teach size. So you get the size, and then if you have the coaching to develop, you can see a lot of good things happen. So Jake Johnson, Malik Brooks are kind of 2 of those guys. Moving over to the edge position, one of the prize of the class, Luke Wafel. USC was able to beat out Penn State and Ohio State for this commitment back in June. 5-star, 4-star composite. He's basically a 5-star. Rivals has him as like the 4th-ranked overall player, and some of the others have him lower. So had a fantastic senior season, and 6'5.5", 260, and so great size that he'll absolutely get some reps as a freshman. one of these freshman kids that he'll absolutely get some reps. Simoto Katawonga, great player out of Santa Margarita. Big edge, 6'4.5", 255, 4-star. And, I think he's a guy that has great size for his age. The biggest thing with him will be, developing some other pass rush moves, which when he gets with Coach Nua, Coach Henney, we'll certainly see that. So he has potential to be really, really good in this class and a great local prospect they were able to get. Andrew Williams, local kid, John C. Fremont Senior High School in LA, 3-star, but another big body, 6'5", 220. Another developmental piece, but one that could surprise people. So excited to see him in this room and see how he plays out. Offensive line. A lot of names here, guys. Sorry. Easton Tafa, another great interior offensive lineman out of Utah, 4-star, 14th ranked interior offensive lineman. Is going to have a chance to compete right away. We'll probably see him develop and, as a redshirt sophomore, junior, start getting more playing time. Brett Colajay is one of the guys in this class. Way underrated. As a freshman, could absolutely see him potentially crack the starting lineup as a freshman. Just has that mentality, has that size, has that grit, has that tenacity. He's a guy that USC fans should be very excited about. Got bumped to his 4th star on the last rankings update. Cannon Smith out of Colorado. Valor Christian High School, one of my high school that I grew up going to in Colorado, one of their rival schools. Wasn't built when I was there, but opened after. It's where Christian McCaffrey went. Nice addition there, great depth piece. See how he develops. Valor is good rivals with Cherry Creek High School, which is where Hayden Treader went, who was a commit in last year's class and got some PT this year in certain situations. John Fafita, massive 6'3", 350, Northern California. 3-star, but another great developmental piece. And you include that with Chase Denise out of, that monster Cathedral High School down in San Diego. Another guy that's a big body, underrated in terms of star ranking, but if he's in the right system, gets developed correctly, a guy that can surprise people. I brought up Elijah Vicona earlier. He could do something very similar in that regards. And that's more of a tackle, I guess. But linebackers, you got Talanoa Ely. I think he has the potential to be the next 5'5". Love Talanoa Ely. Played at Orange Lutheran. Moved to Hawaii for his senior year to play at the historic Kahuka. And commits today, or signs today. He's going to be the leader there. Taylor Johnson out of Cajon, just a tackling machine. 3-star guy, but has tremendous production in high school. So we'll see how that translates over. And then Sean Scott out of Mater Dei. Many recruited him as an edge. USC recruited him as more of an interior linebacker, as they need more of those. And he's a guy I think that you see some of that aggressiveness at Mater Dei, and he'll fit in nicely and hopefully add some more talent to this linebacker room that is needed. Hey, what's going on, LAFB family? Before we get to the show, got to tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. The number one sports app right now, and not just for season-long fantasy. They have daily game updates. They have a live chat that you can chat with other users. Plus, my favorite part is the daily fantasy feature, which is similar to a pick'em. You just choose 2 or more players across any sport. Choose more or less in whatever sport that may be. So if it's football, more or less touchdowns. For Jaden Mayava, if it's Makai Lemon, more or less receptions. If you're looking at the Dodgers, more or less home runs for Shohei Ohtani. Really easy, and you can win real money. Right now, when you go and make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code. You see it right there on the screen, USCLAFB. That's going to give you a match deposit bonus up to $100. You put in $100 to play with, you're going to get $100 free on top of that. You can put in 10, you get 10 free. Also, right now, our friends are offering a $20 free entry for any new signups. So if you go sign up today, you'll get both those offers. You get $20 right off the bat free to play with. Plus, use that promo code USCLAFB at sign up and you'll get that match bonus as well. Go to the App Store, Google Play, download the Sleeper app today, and tell them that the USC LAFB sent you. Now, let's get on to the show. Offensive tackles. I already mentioned Chase Denise, but you got Kenai Pepe, another one of the crown jewels of this class, 6'7", 325. Some sites have him as a 5-star. Rivals Industry has him a 4-star. He's a great player. He's going to be a bookend tackle here very, very quickly for USC. Vlad Diakonov, another guy that rose way high up in the rankings as the season progressed out of Folsom, plays with Rider Lions up there. So great kid here. He signs on the dotted line. Quarterback Jonas Williams officially signs, 4-star, great dual threat, amazing arm talent, had an unbelievable senior season at Lincoln Way East High School in Illinois, broke the touchdown record. I believe he broke the yards record as well. So holds most of the main quarterback records in the state of Ohio, or state of Illinois, excuse me. So really underrated, 9th ranked quarterback at his position in Rivals industry. The 2 running backs who are 2 of the most elite, in my opinion, Sean Alston out of Ohio, unbelievable senior season, and Deshaun Rideau out of Oaks Christian here in California. I think they're going to be such an amazing complement. And you look at this USC running back room overall, it's a stacked room. I talked about it a couple days ago. Super bummed to see Brian Jackson at the portal, but I get it because this room is just loaded and oozing with young talent. Sean Alston, Deshaun Rideau in line to be the next 2 great ones here at USC. Tight end, as I said, Mark Bowman, everything I've heard has signed. As of right now, I'm recording, still have not seen the official announcement from USC, but all indications are he has signed. So, hopefully when you're listening to this, it's already done and official and no one has to even sweat about it. But we know how great he is. 5-star, reclassified, and still can start day one for USC. Like with him and Walker Lyons, that is going to be a dynamic tight end room next year, and I can't wait to see him within the offense, as USC showed this year a lot more tight end utilization, and Mark Bowen will be the next one to do that. Josiah Jefferson, remember they got him out of the JUCO ranks, really productive season down in San Diego, 4-star, the number 1 tight end, JUCO tight end, so a great addition to out of that room, 6'5", 230, so great size there for Josiah Jefferson. And then finally with the loaded 6-man receiver room. Jamiron Tron Baker, 3-star, productive career. One of the also longest tendered commits. When you look at Brandon Lockhart, you look at Madden Riordan, and you look at Tron Baker. I mean, those 3 feels like they've been USC commits for a lifetime. So good to see him finally officially get to sign his paperwork and become a Trojan. Roderick Tizino from Louisiana. When all this talk kind of began about could USC flip Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, there was like, oh, could they end up pushing one out? Could it be him? He's the one that's not the local guy where most of the others are all local. And he came out and said, no, when I visited USC and I committed, I knew that was it. Like I knew that was where I was supposed to be, and I am locked in. So he's going to be a really fun player to see develop here and has a lot of potential. Luke Weaver, maybe the most underrated receiver in this class, from Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. 6'3", probably will be 200 by the time he gets to campus, so big body, can be a true outside threat, but has like 4.4 track speed. So you combine that size and that speed, and I don't know how he was rated as low as he was, to be honest. He did deal with some injuries this year, so we'll see what he looks like coming into, if he enrolls in January, which I know most of this class is going to. I'll let you know when all that's official, but Luke Weaver's one to watch out for. If you think of last year's class, I don't want to say Tanuk Hines went under the radar, but I think no one expected him to start as a freshman. That's kind of like Luke Weaver. Like no one is expecting Luke Weaver to be like that dude of this class. He could be and surprise a lot of people because of just the God-given size and talent he has. And then if developed correctly and can stay healthy, he could be on the field very early. Trent Mosley, I said this after watching him play at the Rose Bowl in person, severely underrated. I mean, the fact that he's the 47th ranked receiver is laughable. Laughable. The guy's a highlight reel when get the ball in his hands. So he's going to do wonders here with USC, can do exactly what they kind of wanted to do with Zachariah Branch back when he was due, can do exactly what they did this year with Mekhi Lemon from the slot. So he's going to be a tremendous USC wide receiver. Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, as I mentioned, the official flip occurred. He is a Trojan, 6'1", 180, 18th ranked overall receiver, has a ton of skill, great hands, great route tree, good jump ball ability, an aggressive route runner. So someone that can, again, play day one. I think that's the theme of this class is a lot of these guys can play day one, and not because USC needs freshmen to play because they're bad, because these guys are just that good that they can make an impact day one. You don't want to have 22 starting freshmen, But it wouldn't surprise me to see 4 or 5 of these guys starting day one, and certainly still in rotational pieces. And finally, but certainly not the least, Boobie Feaster, the 4th-ranked overall receiver, crown jewel out of DeSoto, Texas, had just a fantastic season and voted as one of the top players in all the state of Texas. Officially signs after he committed to SC back in July. We knew A&M was pushing hard for him to flip. We knew Oklahoma was pushing hard for him to flip. We knew LSU was pushing hard to him to flip. There was all these rumors he was going to do visits and all this. Never did. Stayed fast, stayed firm with USC, and today he is officially a USC Trojan, and he is going to be a damn good one. So, I need to rest my vocals because talking about 35 guys is a lot, but that is the whole class. It was a great day for the USC Trojans. The future is bright. We'll keep our eyes on Chris Henry Jr. and anything on Rider Lions. Make sure to keep it right here, locked into the USC LAFB YouTube channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out our message board. We have all the information listed there, LAFBnetwork.com. Just go to forums. You can see our USC Trojans message board, or the link is listed below. All of our intel and other information that's not in video form will be there. It's free to join. Check it out. Let's start growing that thing and getting more users engaging there. But I will probably be back later with more updates because I'm sure we'll get more. Plus, again, 7 p.m. Pacific time tonight, live call-in show. We want to get your thoughts on this historic #1 ranked recruiting class. Thank you, and as always, family, fight on.